Multiple sclerosis and the educational implications for students who are diagnosed with multiple sclerosis is the topic of this PowerPoint. What is multiple sclerosis? Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease in which the immune response is going to attack the body's central nervous system, so the nerves in the brain and the spinal cord. This leads to demyelination in multiple areas, which is going to cause scar tissue to form, which we call sclerosis. Myelin is important because it not only protects nerve fibers, but it also makes their job possible. Without it, nerves are destroyed or damaged, and their ability to conduct impulses is diminished. The disability category under IDEA, multiple sclerosis is classified under the category of orthopedic impairment, and the definition for orthopedic impairment is as follows. A severe orthopedic impairment that adversely affects a child's educational performance. Causes of multiple sclerosis. Much is known about the mechanisms involved in the disease process of MS, but the cause is still unknown. Most theories believe that it's the combination of genetics, gender, infection, and environmental factors. Signs and symptoms. The person with MS can suffer almost any neurological symptom or signs, such as changes in sensation like hypoesthesia or paresthesia, muscle weakness, muscle spasms, difficulty in coordination and balance, problems with speech or swallowing. They can also have visual problems, varying degrees of visual impairment, fatigue, acute and chronic pain, bladder and bowel difficulties, and also emotional issues such as depression or unstable mood. So these kids are affected in a lot of ways by this disease. Often these symptoms progress to physical and cognitive disability. Characteristics of MS. There are 4 subtypes of multiple sclerosis: relapsing, remitting, secondary progressive, primary progressive, and progressive relapsing. The relapsing remitting MS is characterized by unpredictable relapses or attacks, followed by periods or months to years of remission with no new signs of the disease. This is the most common form of MS, with approximately 85% of those diagnosed with MS having that at their initial onset. Secondary progressive MS. Most people who have relapsing remitting MS later develop this form. The conversion usually takes about 19 years. It is characterized by progressive neurological decline between acute attacks without any definite periods of remission. Occasional relapses may occur. Primary progressive MS, characterized by continuous progression of disability from onset with no or only occasional and minor remissions and improvements. And these are 10% of people diagnosed with MS. This is what they're diagnosed with at the onset. Progressive relapsing MS. This is the rarest form of MS. Only 5% of people diagnosed. There is a steadily worsening or decline from onset, but they also have clear acute relapses with or without recovery. It's different than relapsing remitting MS because the periods between relapses are characterized by continued disease progression. They don't really go into remission. Educational implications. While most kids with MS have mild and manageable symptoms, a small percentage experience symptoms that have a significant impact on their daily lives, including school. They may have difficulty in a variety of areas. Vision. They can have blurry or double vision, which can impact reading, writing, or attention. They also have issues with learning and memory. Because MS can affect their brain function, their attention span and thinking abilities may be impacted. Acute attacks or lingering symptoms can cause numbness, weakness, fatigue, poor posture, or coordination, which can affect handwriting and also other fine motor skills. Socialization. These children also may feel withdrawn from peers because they feel different. This can cause them to be depressed or embarrassed, or they may just be too tired to participate in activities with peers. Types of school accommodations. We can have informal accommodations, which is an arrangement between the parent and the child's teacher. There's no formal testing required, and the child doesn't have to meet any specific criteria. Examples would be things like bathroom passes if the child has bladder control problems, frequent breaks if they get easily fatigued, preferential class seating if the child has visual problems or attention deficit, and a reduction in homework if the child has extreme fatigue or problems with writing. Parents may also develop formal 504 plans with school guidance counselors and school administration, but it requires a letter from a medical provider verifying the child has MS. Types of accommodations include extended test-taking time. They may relocate classrooms for children with fatigue or physical disability to the first floor, speech and language therapy, and also occupational and physical therapy. Special education. For this type of intervention, they have to undergo formal testing and be deemed eligible by IDEA. Examples of accommodations: medical services for diagnostic or evaluation purposes only, occupational therapy, physical therapy, psychological services, speech and language therapy, and other accommodations. Local agencies, the Alabama chapter of National MS Society, and also the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation support groups in various areas throughout the state.